Good morning, everyone. My name is Daniel, and I'm a design scientist. Design scientist, what is that? That is someone who uses scientific methods to understand how we design, how we create those wonderful products and services you all like. One part of my study is concerned with how do we use AI in the designing of those products and services. And I want to talk about that today. Because as the previous speakers all said, there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of hype about it. But what is the reality? How do designers use AI in their development of new products and services? That is what I would like to talk today. And I have to have a little warning. The way we are using it today, I see not in a very positive light. There are some things which concerns me, and I believe will have some negative consequences on the short term. But the positive part of the message is we are in control. We can change. We are in charge. We decide the future. And that is what I would like to talk to you today. So if you look at today and AI, it is very similar to the 1990s. Many of you, I can see, haven't been alive during that time, potentially, or too young. But the ones who are a little bit older will maybe recognize it's a very similar environment. When the internet emerged in the 1990s, I was living in Germany, and there was all those new companies popping up with all those new services. And nobody really knew how can we utilize this internet? What should we do with it? How can we make money with it? How should we integrate that in our workflow? And this is very similar to the environment we feel today in terms of AI. We have over 100,000 applications. If I ask you, you might can count to 10, maybe somebody who's very familiar, maybe 50, but there's over 100,000 applications today. So this confusion is representative for those organizations designing. There's very little coordination for those designers on how to use AI, so it's all in little pockets, individually done by themselves. And consequently to that, AI is used as a tool. And here I'm contradicting to some things which have been said before. I write in my bullet point, and it's very important to highlight that only as a tool. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that, AI currently is used in design practices like Microsoft Office Word. I go to my computer, I enter something, I return an outcome, and leave. This is not the best use of AI. This limits the impact of AI it can have on your organization. There's something we talk about in academia which is called AI as a team member, teammate, working together with a shared goal to create new products and services. That would be a much better approach. Why does this not happen? Because education is running behind, the organizations are running behind, there's too little training on how to do so. Okay? Now, while AI is used throughout the whole process of designing, the most focus is not on creativity. The focus of it is on efficiency, improving efficiency. What do I mean by that? For example, we have a huge amount of data. AI can analyze it for us. Previously not possible. Maybe a designer would have looked at those data for months to make sense of it. A system can use much more data in a much shorter period of time. This is an efficiency gain. The development cycling is shrinking. Other examples are, let's do a little sketch very quickly, internal use. I do not have to sit there for a day trying to find the best sketch, but I can use the system. So the focus is not on creativity, but on efficiency. Also because we can measure efficiency gains. We can't measure creativity increases. Very difficult for organizations. And another point we have been observing is that most people using it in design practices have an engineering background. If you look at design, there's art-based design and engineering-based design. MIT is an engineering-based design school. Tongji is more of an art-based. It used to be an art school, right? And there's a difference on how those people have been trained. So engineering-based designers are more confident with technical aspects. Hence, they are utilizing it more. And they're utilizing it in a slight different way than designers would. Okay? So that is the current situation. And why do I think this current situation is potentially difficult for us in the near future? I predict that design will get worse in the short run. Why? There's many reasons for that. If you look into studies with AI and humans, what you can see in experimental studies, high-performing teams incorporating AI will perform lower quality. Why? Because, the system does a good enough job. I don't need to do anything anymore. So the high-performing teams, a high-performing designer will actually lead to lower quality outcome. At the same time, lower performing teams will increase in their performance. So what we will see, I think, in the future is this level of top going down, the lower will going up. Right? We will see less variations in the future. We will not see maybe as much completely failing products, but we will also not necessarily seeing this extraordinary outcomes for a short period of time. We have fewer designers. We will have fewer of you. Now, some people argue, hey, we have AI and then they do your routine work. And if they do your routine work, you can focus on the more important parts, on those value-added parts, right? That is what they tell us. It's the same thing they told blue-collar workers in Germany when manufacturing jobs moved to China. Never happened. Why does it not happen? Because this efficiency gains, this shortened product development cycles, reduce costs. And the more organizations who will incorporate AI in their design process, the lower their cost, and the cost is a competing factor. So the time saved in designing will go not to you having more time to think about creative ideas, they will be just shortened. All right? Therefore, we will see a loss of designers. Now, and I think that is quite interesting discussion at the moment, right now in academia. There's a discussion, should AI get smarter? And it will get smarter. We can't most likely stop it. There's more data coming to learn from. But there's some literature talking about we need to also make it less smart, particularly when it works with humans. Have you ever worked in a team with a very smart person? Annoying. Who knows everything? Annoying. We don't like to work with them. If we want to work with machines, they can't be overly smart. We will not like that. And as long as we depend on each other, we need to dump down AI at certain situations. So what is happening next week? Who knows, right? The future is in the making. When I talked about what can happen tomorrow, I'm talking based on the current situation and no changes assumed. But we can change. We can do something. And what can we do? We can first of all learn how to work with AI. What does that mean? That means not only to know which button to press, but we need to, like in a team, understand how the machine thinks. We need to create a shared mental model. The machine needs to know how we think, and we need to know how they come to conclusions. We need to have an AI strategy, and when I talk about it, I just want to highlight one point. Who controls or who manages the human in organizations? HR. Who manages AI? The IT department. They need to work together as teams, okay? And together we will be successful. Thank you very much. and have a good day.
谢谢 Daniel。